New York, I happened to sit by this guy, and we were just chatting, and he was asking me what I wanted to do when I finished playing, and I was telling him commercial real estate. Well, he said, man, if you want to be in commercial real estate, you either need to be in New York or Los Angeles. Well, of all the teams that looked at me and talked to me about playing football, LA never called me, never sent me a note, never said anything to me. And ironically, I ended up getting drafted by them. So, you know, go out to Los Angeles. My first off season, I end up, when the season was over, I went and worked in a real estate office and was doing commercial. And they had me doing everything. I was riding with guys that did land and did shopping centers and did office buildings. And the first deal that I ever closed was on a set of 4-unit apartment buildings, and I was hooked. And from then on, I didn't want to do anything else but apartments. So I ended up learning the business out there, stayed out in California for 13 years, and moved back to Memphis in '93. And when I got back to Memphis, I was on the phone kind of seeing, you know, who's here. I wanted to be able to do multifamily here, just like I was doing it out there, but I could never find anybody that did multifamily properties. It was just myself and 1 or 2 other guys who I won't name because I won't advertise for them. Their working lifetime. If they could just buy a 10-unit building that pays $600 a month rents, and then you take 30% for expenses, that building will pay you $4,200 a month. And you can buy a 10-unit building here in Memphis for $300,000, less than $300,000, and have to put maybe 20% down, which is $60,000. So $60,000 invested in an apartment building versus saving $900,000. See the difference? That's why we put up with the headaches of apartment buildings. I mean, the yield is incredible. And of course, here's the other reason. A lot of you all own single-family homes, and I have clients that do well with single-family. I have clients that do well with multifamily. But here's another reason that people like to buy apartment buildings. Is if you've got a 10-unit or a 20-unit apartment building, that means you've got 10 tenants or 20 tenants. And let's say you've got a full-time job, and you're trying to check on your properties or visit your tenants. Well, if you've got a 10-unit apartment building, you go to your 10-unit building and you see your 10 tenants. You've got one roof. You maybe have one Shelby County all the way up to $250,000 for a duplex. Or, you know, for example, a 16-unit apartment building in Shelby County could be $200,000, or in Midtown could be $750,000. And so there's a lot of variety, a lot of range for you to be able to get in. Get in where you fit in, as they say. And that's what makes our market dynamic too, here in Shelby County. Now, so that's one distinction is you'll see all the units once you get it under contract, you do your inspection. The other thing you need to know about multifamily that's a little bit different from single family is the financing is different. And basically, financing kind of comes in a couple of different categories. 2 to 4 unit buildings, duplexes up to 4 units. A lot of times you can get 30-year fixed rate financing on those. When you get to 5 units and above, it's considered what we call commercial. And most commercial banks will only do like 5 years out, 5 to 7 years at a time. Now, for a lot of investors, that's kind of unsettling because you know, what happens at the end of 5 to 7 years? You got to refinance, you got to sell it, as a balloon payment. But, ironically, it works. There's a couple of lenders. Wells Fargo is one of the ones I know for sure that will do a 20-year fully amortized note on a multifamily property. But just know that if you're doing a local commercial bank, more than likely the most they're going to go out at any one time is 5 to 7 years. Now, they'll amortize it over 20 years, so your payment doesn't choke you to death, but you're just going out 5 to 7 years at a time, which means at the end of probably 3 to 4 years, you want to start looking at refinancing that property, where it depends on what other comparable properties are selling for. So when you're approaching a multifamily property, you want to be looking at, what can I do? What can I do to add value to this property? Sometimes it's the rents. Sometimes it's just adding a little curb appeal so the property is a little more attractive, which means the tenants will stay a little bit longer. Looking at the leases, you may see that there are a lot of, the tenants have been there a long time and the rents haven't been raised over time, so there's an opportunity to raise rents. Or, you may find there may be a building that just needs work and you can fix it up, you're handy, you've got some people that work with you on your other investments, and you can add value by just making the property nicer. It's just a tremendous amount of opportunity, a unique format to be able to present a property. And let's see, these are just duplexes, right? $295. Now I just showed you an 8-unit building for $99. This is an 8-unit building for $295. And let's look at what the rents are. Because again, the value is kind of tied to the income. It would be a waste of time for me to take people through there to look at that building. They would want to see 2 units. It was horrible. So, I know nobody in here would do that, but I just, want to let you got to stay on top of it. Yes, I'm sorry.